Good afternoon, everybody. This is a picture of the painting as I'm going to do today. I think it's called a bistro set in a little garden, which Rachel will recognize because we were there last week. I've done a line drawing of the, where's my line? Here we are, thank you. I've done a line drawing of the piece in a sketchbook. I have put in the green bushes back here, just indicated their shape. Missed out the house entirely. Promoted this tree in the background further forward to block it off. So the whole of this little area is bound by green, and we're putting blue sky behind, just to make the thing a little bit less complicated. Because it is rather complicated with all these legs and stuff. Right, now, because I've done the line drawing, I did have a pencil already prepared, but it's gone wonky, so we'll do it this way. Okay, so I need to put in on this line drawing that I've done the shadows I can see in this picture here that will help me interpret what I've seen. So I don't have to put them all in if I think they're going to make things difficult to see, but enough of the shadows to help me do the picture. Okay, so if I look at this bush, there's a big shadow there which pushes this bush forward, so I need to put that in, and it has a shape. So the thing to do is to get the shape of the shadow that you see. And then it goes slightly grayer further up. I need that shadow to help me define it, and there's a little shadow here too. There's another bush here with the shadow, but I want to leave the shape of the back of the chair visible. So I'm going up to the shape of the back of the chair with my shadow. I need that line visible when I do my painting, otherwise I won't know what it is. Thank you. I'll struggle, bless you.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There is one that's
Right, shape. So if I just, part of the trouble is I didn't bring my specs. If I just shape inside that, I'm shading it all in, except for the little pot, to help me define that outside edge, because that part is in shadow too. The light is catching the table. The pot is in shadow on this side, but the light is catching it on this side. So that's quite a strong shadow there, which helps me shape the pot, which is nice of it. Right, and this pot is lightly shaded. I think I will use that, it makes life a bit easier.
Pick anyone that.
Yeah, no, that's all right, it's all right. What is short is glasses. Right, so with that down there. This bush here is also in shadow. There's quite a deep shadow here, which helps define the tabletop, which goes up around this bush to about there and is along here. And it's deep enough to define that there as well, the edge of the pot. And then we just shade it a bit more lightly. Get up there, right. This bush It's got quite a deep shadow here. And again, I'm going to leave the back of the chair showing here. So I'm just putting in, and then it goes rather spidery there because there's the earth in the middle here. And this is growing out of it. This is in shadow, but not deep shadow, so I'll just color that in lightly. And if I come over here, there's a bush here, which is rather one of those pointy things, you know. Again, deep shadow near the bottom. And it's got a bit of a shadow there, which is actually, I think, the earth. And then this one, what's that one? That's that bush, right? And this is in deep shadow here. And that deep shadow defines the edge of this one. And then the shadow goes lighter as we get near the top. So that has helped create the bushes, right? You can see, can't you? Yeah. Right. So now I need to look at these other things because the whole of this back is in shadow, but I need to leave the legs. There's two ways of doing that. One would be to just scrub in the dark and then take the legs out with the rubber. But it took me such a long time to get the legs in the right place. I'm not going to do that. Okay, so we shade in the area. Why didn't I bring my glasses? Because I was in fact. Using the shape, using the area between the cushion and the top of the wall there to create my shadow between the top of the cushion, which is in the light. So I'm using the top of the cushion as the bottom edge of my shading in. And of course it comes around here too. We can make that line a bit more definite. When you're drawing for the purpose of painting it afterwards, you can make your lines quite definite. When you're drawing, when you're going to paint it, you want them delicate. So I can put the lines in more strongly. Okay, so I've done that bit. Where's the next bit? There's a bit here. So I'm going to have to ask somebody else to do this. Right, there's a bit there. A lot of this is guess, I have to tell you. What's that line doing? Oh, I know what that is.
Is this for watercolor?
Yes. It could be for anything. This is just preparing the sketch ready for another bit there. A bit more here. And that cushion is in shadow most of the way around here. So I'm doing it in a rather sketchy fashion because basically I can't see. Right. So underneath this cushion is also shaded. And if I could see, I would be doing it properly. And we've got a line there. And these come down here. It helps when you're putting in metal legs like this, if you get them lying so you got the right one going across the proper, you know, which one goes on top of which one, because that makes them easier to read. I did do it in the drawing. I can't see it now. So, you know, just take that as read. I don't know how the painting's going to turn out. This is going to be interesting. Right, okay, so this is shaded in around here. That's, what is that? That's another leg. Right, okay. So this leg comes down here and it curves before it goes straight. So it's coloured in. So you can see it's beginning to take shape. And then I've got greenery here. Well, I'll just put that in. If I try to draw that, I just make a note of the fact that there's plants growing here, and leave that to whatever comes to mind with the brush. Nobody's going to see it, you know. What I do for it is what it will be. The only other thing I want to do is to make sure that is quite dark. This is lighter. The edge of the cushion here is lighter. And it comes down there. So try and get the shape of the cushion there like that. And there's a bit of shadow over there, but again, I can't see it. So that's what I've ended up with, right? And I think that reads as something that you could paint from. It's not a beautiful drawing, nor is it beautiful shading, but it's adequate for what I want. As I say, the lines can be stronger. I might ask somebody to put the lines in stronger for me when we finish this. So I think that's the end of the session, showing you how to do the shading. So when we come back to do the painting, this will go and this will stay. So I need to make some notes. I'll put greenery here. The cushion are striped and they're red and white. And these bushes are green and this is blue sky, just to remind me, right? So and the other thing is that these are a pale green, furniture, pale green. Right, so I've got the notes that I need. I know the cushions have got red stripes on them. I know the furniture is a pale green, as is the pot, and that the bushes will be a darker green and they're shaded in various ways. Okay, so the next thing to do before I leave is to think to myself, what colors will I use to get these colors, right? Well, the red is a scarlet. So that's pretty well tied it in. So the red will be a scarlet. I'll do it on the back. So I'll have red, cadmium is what I'm trying to say. Cadmium. I'll want a yellow. Now, if you want bright, fresh spring green, you need a cool yellow to get that bright color. Cool yellows, lemon yellows or aureolin, either of those would do. So I'll write lemon, but I'll probably use aureolin. You know what I am. Lemon. Right, now we need a blue. And this is problematic. I could use Prussian blue, because Prussian blue and red make a gorgeous black. It's absolutely lovely. Do I want to go as black as that? Maybe not. So I think I'll use ultramarine, as usual. It'll make quite a nice green. Not as fresh as Prussian would make. Prussian is a cool blue. I hope you understand what I'm saying when I say cool blue. Prussian blue is a cool blue, so that will make a nice fresh green. So it's a trade-off, really. What I could do is use another color as well. So supposing I use Prussian blue, which will give me bright greens, and burnt sienna. Because if I miss the Prussian blue and the burnt sienna, I can graduate the grey sort of colour that I get. So I'll use Prussian blue and what did I say? Burnt sienna. Burnt sienna. Right? So now I have all the information I need to paint that picture without the view. So I've been out, baked in the sun, I'm going to paint that picture. Okay, so that's what I would like you to do now.